Hi there, welcome to Caroline Soap Opera. Today I'm going to do a tarot card reading for Capricorn energy. The top row is going to be what is going on and what they're doing for people who harness high vibe Capricorn energy. And the bottom row is going to be for what people are doing and what's going on in their life for people who are harnessing low vibe Capricorn energy. Capricorn energy in general is about wanting to build a legacy in your life while you're living this lifetime on earth. Low vibe people make it more about money, materialism, status, image, pride, and ego. That's our more base, beastly nature. And high vibe Capricorn people are people who know that life's more than just, we're not just supposed to come down here. We have more of a purpose. We're meant to try to evolve the world and help other people to believe in themselves and believe in their dreams. So, high vibe Capricorn energy is people who have freed themselves from their more beastly nature, and they are people who are free. They're not enslaved by their pride, their ego, by money and materialism as the deciding factor in their life, because it's love that sets us free. Believing in ourselves, believing in our dreams. If we have acted with character and integrity in our life, and we have loving, kind, compassionate, supportive people in our life, we're rich indeed, right? And our character and our integrity are things that no one can take away from us. But if we make our life about pride, ego, money, and materialism, those things can be taken away. And then what? We have no value, we have no worth. Our only definition of our value is what we wear, what we drive, how much money we have in a bank account. There are things to maybe be proud of and that we've accomplished, but it doesn't say anything really about our worth and value. What makes us unique human beings that make other people enjoy, hopefully, if they're emotionally deep people, is who our hidden realm, our emotions, our thoughts, our love, again, our character, our integrity. It's the hidden realm that makes us value. Our hidden realm is what makes us valuable. And then the same lesson applies to the world. The most important thing about this world isn't the things we can see, it's the things we can't see. And it's not just believing in the things of the world, it's believing in what we can't see, using our imagination and our creativity. It's our imagination and creativity that's brought all these things into existence over the last, 2,000 plus years. We didn't go pick cell phones off a tree. People tapped into their hidden realm, their creativity and their emotions to bring these things into reality over time. And that's what living life's really about. Expressing yourself, being truthful, being honest, being open, being loving, being vulnerable. So, the bottom of the deck is the reason for the reading. Oh, you've got air sign energy on the bottom of both. Up here we have a Page of Swords. Down here we have a King of Swords. So this up here could be Libra, Aquarius, Gemini. This King of Swords is Libra energy. So either dealing with a Libra or someone you think is just and fair and balanced. But in shadowy energy, well, we'll look at it. Okay, you high vibe people. The reason what you're doing is you're standing in your inner truth to defend your future. And in your future, you want people in their Taurus energy, people who are spiritual leaders in the world, people who just don't act like an upright citizen in the world and want people to look up and admire them. People who are really worthy of being looked up to and admired because they walk the talk. It's not just a social mask of, look at me, I'm just and fair and stable and giving and blah, 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 but they're really not. You want people in your future who actually walk the talk, people in their King of Swords Libra energy who are just and fair and balanced, and they take action based on the truth. And people who are willing to tap into that inner creative, inspired nature, youthful nature within themselves to work together with people from a deep emotional foundation. So, because that's what you want in your future, right now, in your Six of Pentacles, you are investing time, energy, and effort into maintaining your balance within yourself and in your life. You know, paying as much attention to your things of your life, like your money and your stability and your security, as you also do to your emotional nature, your intuitive, creative, inspired nature. And you are making a final decision on maybe well, your final decision is you see that the truth in the Ace of Swords is about love. You know, if I'm not investing time, energy, and effort into things and people that I love, why am I doing it? I mean, it's one thing to be socially polite and courteous and kind and respectful to people, but, you know, would you invest more than social courtesy into people and things if you didn't love them? And for some of you, you could be seeing the truth about a Scorpio or a mother figure or someone who is emotionally invested in repeating patterns of the past and they turn their back on the future. It's like, you know, if you're emotionally attached to the past, go enjoy your life. I'm moving on. You know? And if there's a Scorpio or a mother figure that you have got to speak up and speak your truth about and stand up for the things that you believe in, you're going to do that too. As you're moving forward in your life, you might have someone, a Scorpio or a mother figure, or someone who you have, the Queen of Cups can talk about having a mutually emotional connection with. You could have someone trying to stop you as you're moving forward. And at which point you will stand in your truth to protect your future. It's like, are you someone who walks the talk? Have you put in hard work and effort to get out of your more shadowy Taurus energy about pride, ego, money, materialism, status, and image? Have you seen the truth? Are you taking action in truth? Have you cut things and people and habits and ways of being out of your life that aren't aligned with being just and fair and open and honest and acting with character and integrity? Or are you still kind of immature and want to keep repeating patterns of the past? If you are, I'm not interested. Now, the bottom of the deck is also the reason for the reading. So you could have been dealing with someone who was kind of immature in the way they think, logic, and reason. And that person could have harnessed these energies in a shadowy way. They still look to the past, and emotionally they're still connected to the past. Repeating patterns of the past is their truth. The way they view relationships and marriages, because the Taurus Hierophant is about that, and how they view the world, it is about money, materialism, status, and image. That, in their Libra energy, is what they feel is the truth. There is no higher truth. We come here our soul inhabits a body to make money and materialism and have status and image. That's it. Point zero. No higher purpose to life than that. And they could be someone who makes decisions more from their mind than their heart. They could be emotionally cold. They could be stubborn, bossy, controlling. And if you were in a relationship with this person and you wanted equal give and take, and for people to be held accountable for their actions, to adhere to a higher authority, that people should treat other people the way they want to be treated, to be just and fair and open and honest and loving, this person could have been like, no, that's not the way I view relationships. The way I view relationships and marriages is the way it was done in my past and the way I grew up. That's the way to do relationships or marriages. And if that means I'm stubborn, prideful, egotistical, I'm the boss, I make the rules, you're supposed to do what I say, you're supposed to act this way and do this, and You know, the Hierophant can talk about all the rules and regulations we have in our head. It's like the government structure of rules and regulations in our head, in our life. It's really easy if your rules and regulations in your head are love, honesty, character, integrity. But the people who don't want to do that and want the scales tipped in their favor, where they can be selfish, greedy, manipulative, bossy, controlling, prideful, egotistical, making life about the world instead of love, well, you view life differently. And that person could have communicated with someone from their past. It's someone they viewed as an emotional option, Seven of Cups, that they thought they could have long-term happiness with. Because maybe they thought that person from their past is someone who views life the way they do it. We either choose to see the truth that life is about love and being open and honest and just and fair and making our life more than pride, ego, money, materialism, that we're worth more than that. My worth and value is not based on what I wear, what I drive, how much money I got in the bank. What makes me valuable is my hidden realm, my emotions, my thoughts, my creativity, my imagination, But the people who live more from their mind than their heart, they don't want to even deal with those things, really. It's like, now it's about money and materialism and status and image. That's the most important thing. And that's the most important thing they think about themselves. And there might have been someone from their past that they thought they could have a long-term emotional relationship with, because that person views life the way they do. So, if you had someone in your life who was looking back at someone in their past who maybe they felt would indulge them like they were indulged growing up, or views relationships and marriages and contracts the way that they view them, you've seen the truth of it. This person could be looking for someone who's like a mother figure to indulge them. I want to be selfish and greedy and immature and bossy and controlling, and how about you just indulge me? It's like, you know what? If you were looking for a mother in a relationship, then it's a good thing you reunited with someone in your past, because I want to be in a relationship with an adult. Someone who's learned, reminds me of that poem. People can Google it. Something like, everything I needed to learn in life, I learned in kindergarten. And it was about being open and honest and just and fair and sharing your toys and not hitting other people and not lying and not stealing. But the people who have illusions, I don't know. We either do truth and love, or we're operating from our pride and ego and we have illusions about life and relationships. I don't know. Maybe this person is just someone who has illusions about how they view relationships. And they think they don't have to grow up. They don't have to mature. They don't have to learn lessons. They don't have to treat other people the way they want to be treated. People should just unconditionally love them and indulge them like a 5 or 8-year-old perpetually, while they're stubborn, bossy, and controlling. Anyway, you've seen the truth. You could have been exchanging resources, which can be like hugs and kisses and stuff like that, with maybe a Libra, Aquarius, or Gemini. But as time went by, you could have felt that, this person wasn't going to work together with you from a deep emotional foundation, that this person had maybe created the illusion that you'd move forward being a happy, loving family, but maybe they weren't really willing to do that, at least the way you view a happy, loving family. So you've made a judgment that, you're going to listen to your intuition and let love guide your decision making. And though you might have love for this person, because for some of you it's a family member, a child, a parent, a sibling, a coworker, a friend, if this person's going to be stubborn, prideful, more materialistically focused, more selfish, greedy, bossy, controlling, you know. you know. You've seen through the illusions that this could lead to long term emotional wish fulfillment. People have to be aligned with love, and this person listens more to the devil whispering on their shoulder. Their own shadow nature of fear, insecurity, pride, ego, immaturity, greed, something tips this person out of balance, and they don't align with love. So, you're defending your future. You are in that inner youthful nature of taking creative, inspired action in your life to work together with others in the Six of Cups from a deep emotional foundation. Dreaming of what could be and knowing from Seven of Cups to Ten of Cups, that means there's a Three of Cups at play, and that's Cancer, water sign, emotional energy about love and home and family and self-love. And you know that if you keep walking the talk and standing in your truth and taking action in your life, being loving and kind and respectful and encouraging and all those good things with yourself, and you offer those to other people, there's going to be people in the world who appreciate and reciprocate that. This other person that might have been in your life didn't reciprocate that. They wanted someone to indulge them. And for some of you, it could have been a Scorpio, it could have been a mother figure, it could have been somebody who said, oh, I'm loving and nurturing, but you saw the truth that they're shadowy. And shadowy is people who are emotionally manipulative. They're trying to control you. They try to instill fear and insecurity in you. They try to be bossy and controlling over you. You know, try to get all these things in your head that isn't really based on love. And if this was a family member, you could be communicating to that family member, because the Six of Cups can be about people from our childhood, that you've seen through the illusion of the fact that they tried to tell you, oh, I love you, and oh, I just have your best interest at heart, and blah, 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 blah. But it's like, if you're not encouraging me to offset my fearful, insecure, self-limiting beliefs, my more shadowy nature, my prideful, egotistical, selfish, immature nature, if you're not encouraging me to offset those and grow up and mature myself and be more balanced and be more just and fair and believe in myself and what can be, you're basically trying to tempt me and appeal to my fearful, insecure, selfish, greedy, codependent, immature nature. And you're trying to make me maybe be someone who's stubborn and prideful in relationships, someone who is fearful and insecure, so therefore I'm bossy and controlling, because you might want me to keep repeating my patterns of the past, because you don't want me to speak the truth maybe about our family, which might have been happy, but it kind of had some things about it that kind of were creating an illusion. It doesn't mean the family wasn't happy, but if people in the relationship were more about image and status and more focused on money and materialism, and maybe made decisions that were based more on being logical and practical instead of loving and open and honest and authentic, and kind of creating the illusion that, oh, we're so happy, when people really were kind of being this bossy, controlling, stubborn, emotionally kind of disconnected way of being. We grow up in what we grow up in, and it certainly could have seemed happy, but if there was things about it that people haven't been willing to speak the truth about this kind of stubborn, bossy, maybe manipulative, controlling, whatever, then you're willing to speak the truth of it. You're not going to be in denial anymore. And you could be making a judgment on this person who might be trying to stop you from moving forward and maybe defending a relationship you have with a Libra or with people who are just and fair, trying to stop you from communicating with people in your life that you have a deep emotional connection with. They try to confuse you about if you'll have long term emotional happiness with those people and try to instill fear and insecurity in you. And you're saying, I'm done. So, lots of different stories there. And like I say, for some of you, you see the truth that you could have been dealing with someone who wanted you to mother them, and you're like, I'm not. Until you have put in the hard work and effort to solidify your foundation, where you are willing to stand up for the truth and yourself and what you deserve in life, which is to be in loving, creative, inspired relationships, until you do the work in yourself, like to grow yourself up. Because in order to grow ourselves up, we have to love ourselves. We have to offset our fearful, insecure, needy, codependent. No, I want you to be the solution to my problem. You are supposed to make me happy. Get in a relationship with someone who thinks you're responsible for them being happy. Watch out. Because when their fears and insecurities bubble to the surface, it'll be like, well, what's wrong? I don't know what's wrong, and I'm kind of feeling this way. And, they never look within themselves. It's like, it must be you. You must be doing something. Why do I feel this way? It's like, I don't know why you feel that way. You can provide a loving environment for people, but if they don't do the work within themselves, and Taurus, Hierophant energy is about putting in hard work and effort to be stable and grounded and, a spiritual leader. In order to be a spiritual leader, you have had to worked on this spiritual battle within this dualistic nature within yourself. You've got to overcome your prideful, egotistical, selfish, greedy, immature nature to be just and fair and open and honest and act with character and integrity. Some people just want to be in a relationship because it's good for their image and status and maybe money and materialism, but they never do the work within themselves. And so then they get in relationships and they're kind of bossy and controlling because they know they've got all these fears and insecurities. And like, you're just supposed to love them anyway. It's like, no, I think you have some work to do. Anyway, if you were exchanging resources with someone, even if it was a child of yours or your own more immature child nature that wanted to act this way, you're done with it. So if it's in you or outside of you, whatever, you're done. The truth is love. And if other people haven't done the same work to reconcile with their past and get out of their pride, their ego, their emotional defensiveness, and get over their illusions of how they view a happy relationship, which is them being immature and selfish and greedy and bossy and controlling, then they're going to have to go find someone else who wants to buy into that illusion. You're doing love, truth, honesty, character, integrity. So basically, people in their Taurus energy, the Six of Pentacles is Taurus energy too. Taurus energy with the Hierophant about relationships and marriages is, what is my underlying philosophy of life that I'm going to make decisions? Is it going to be money, materialism, status, image, fear, insecurity, pride, ego, addiction? Or is it going to be love? And the people who've put in the hard work in their Capricorn energy to free themselves from their more shadowy nature, they've offset it with love and compassion and encouragement and belief, so they're balanced. Those people are holding themselves and other people accountable in their life. That people are either truthful, honest, and loving, or they're trying to manipulate the system and emotionally manipulate us. So, the low vibe people, The reason their reading came out is because of the King of Swords. They think it's just and fair for them to live more from their mind than their heart, because they won't get hurt that way, they think. But basically, they're living a life of emotional defensive every day. I'd say they're hurting themselves every day. Weren't we all, as small children, wanting to be and knowing that we thrive and grow best in relationships that are loving and open and authentic and warm and encouraging and supporting? And sadly, the people that are in shadowy Capricorn energy are aligning more with their mind than their heart. They're going to make decisions in their life that are logical and practical. If it's good for my money, my materialism, my status, my image, or my emotional defensiveness, that's what I'm going to do. And oh, by the way, when I get in relationships, I might be emotionally cold and detached and bossy and controlling. So, some of those people right now have regrets about their past. You know, in the Five of Cups, it talks about people who are focused on regrets of the past and not being in the present moment of love and looking to the future. Because they focus on the relationships of the past that didn't work out, that's it. That is like the driving decision factor in their life. Relationships didn't work out in the past, therefore they get kicked up into their pride and ego. They act in an emotionally defensive manner, which is really sad because, it's kind of like the negative energies of the world got another team player because someone was hurt, maybe atrociously so, I'm not belittling the fact that people get hurt in the world. And like I say, sometimes people are atrocious to other people. But if we don't want those people in our life, who even for some of them, it was just that they were selfish, they were greedy, they were emotionally confusing, they were manipulative, whatever, has made people distrusting of love, which is sad. All we have to do is see the truth of the people in our past who were unloving, unkind, selfish, greedy, bossy, controlling, or atrocious. Those people made their own free will decisions. I think, that the universe is always in balance and working to keep things in balance. So I think just as many kind of selfish, greedy people as there are out there in the world, or the extent and depth of it, is the same amount of loving people in the world and the extent and depth of loving people. I mean, I think everybody could go over to love, and negative energy would be like this black hole energy that no one taps into anymore. We have free will. What thoughts and emotions are we going to pick up, feed a baby bottle to, burp, diaper, change, and grow with us through adulthood? Are we going to use the free will choice to choose, I choose to nurture and grow love and patience and generosity and kindness and hope and faith and belief? Or am I going to take hold of and grow bitterness, envy, fear, greed, selfishness, revenge? We got free will. So, the people that were in shadowy energy, the Five of Cups is Scorpio energy too. So people who could still be emotionally invested in the past and repeating patterns of the past, it's because they don't want to put themselves out there. They don't want to be emotionally vulnerable. We have to learn lessons in order to move forward in life. Otherwise, we keep repeating the same old friendship patterns, relationship patterns, work patterns, and we never learn the lessons we were meant to learn. And part of coming down here on this soul journey was to learn lessons. And some people, because they have regrets of their past, they keep secrets because they present themselves to the world as being like a loving, just, committed, loyal person. But they're hiding the fact that they have regrets from their past that they're not willing to put work and effort into dealing with, to reconcile with. All I got to do is see the truth. Those people were selfish, unkind, whatever. And then we give ourselves the things that we wish those people had given us. That, by golly, if there's one person in the world every day who's going to treat me with love and respect and kindness and compassion and forgiveness and encouragement, it's going to be me. We're the only person we control in this world, and we're the only person we should try to control in this world. And when we treat ourselves that way, we have a deep well of an emotional foundation. We're very abundant indeed. And then we can offer love and respect and kindness to other people. And if those people reciprocate it, great, we can work together with them. If they don't, we wish them peace and we move on. We know that those people who aren't able to reciprocate kindness and love and all those good things, have pain and heartbreak or a bad day or something that keeps them from making the free will choice to be open and honest and loving. And life's about learning lessons. And some people are so defensive because they've been hurt before, they just choose, they got kicked up into pride and ego because they were disappointed or they were hurt or they were rejected, and they live operating from emotional defensiveness and pride and ego the rest of their life. They let negative people in the world ensnare them in negative energy. They're secretive. They present themselves in the King of Cups like high vibe. They present themselves as like loving family people, loving home and family in their Cancer energy. But they do that so that other people will come take action towards them. So this person is also kind of being stubborn and prideful and egotistical. Because again, we either choose truth and love, or we choose pride and ego and defensiveness and selfishness and greed. This person, maybe a Libra, is presenting themselves as a loving family person, like they would be that kind of person, in order to get other people to take action towards them. They maybe aren't taking action towards anyone. So that definitely could become kind of some pride and ego. This person also, though, because they have regrets of the past that they hide, they are overwhelmed about moving forward in their life. The Wheel of Fortune is about going with the flow, learning lessons, rolling with the punches, and saying, you know what, I'm not giving up on my dreams. I'm going to keep believing in myself and believing in my dreams coming into reality. They find it really overwhelming to think of standing in their truth and speaking their truth. So another way this could play out is because they are defensive of speaking their truth and aligning with truth, and maybe speaking their truth about regrets in the past, because they could have rejected people too and caused a lot of pain and heartbreak in the world, being an emotionally defensive way of being. And so because they're overwhelmed at the thought of speaking their truth, they hope that things will go in their favor if they keep doing things the way they've done it, which is really overwhelming. But they're deciding, I'm going to stick with my plan. I do not think being open and honest and loving, the truth sets you free. But they've decided, no, in their pride and ego, they think they know best. So if any of these people knew you and they thought they could maybe come take like sexual action towards you, high vibe people, and that you'd be willing to move forward with them because they're overwhelmed, because basically they don't know how to fill up their own cup and you're very loving, it's kind of like, no, you might be presenting yourself as a King of Swords, but you'd be like, my intuition is telling me that you're more like a Page of Swords. And, you have some lessons to learn. And if some of you high vibe people were in a relationship with someone that you were exchanging resources with, the person you were in a relationship with in this Page of Swords energy, maybe a Libra, Aquarius, or Gemini, could have made the decision that they were going to go find somebody who they thought would mother them, because they didn't want to be in a relationship with people who want justice and fairness and balance and truth and love, where people act with character and integrity and speak their truth. This person could have decided that if there was someone in their life who could have communicated with them, this person decided to go take action towards that person. So if there was someone maybe in a Libra's life who had experienced some regret, and they kind of create illusions in the world, because we're talking about shadowy Capricorn energy here, and High Priestess is like someone who can be secretive. Someone who was in regret about their past was keeping some secrets, but they presented themselves as loving to get someone to maybe leave a loving relationship to come take maybe sexual action towards them in a relationship. And this person was willing to go get in a relationship with that person because the thought of taking creative, inspired action in their life and speaking their truth and cutting out the things in their life that they need to cut out in order to live their authentic life wasn't something they wanted to do. So they could have went and taken action towards someone who presented themselves as loving in the world, but really that person is a King of Swords energy. This was a practical, logical decision. I'm going to try to get you to come get in a relationship with me because maybe this will be good for my image, my status, my materialistic foundation. And I don't want you to move forward with the loving people that you could align with. This can even just be friendship groups. Somebody who's in shadowy Capricorn energy made the decision that I'm going to present myself as loving to someone in order to get that person to come get in a relationship with me. Because they thought their dream would come into reality with this person, that they would be able to move forward in a very successful manner. And look very successful in the Chariot card to the world. And so they could have made them a financial offer in order to emotionally manipulate someone who was single or into becoming single, so that person would offer love to them. It's like, I'll offer you these things of the world. I'll present myself as loving, so you'll come get in a relationship with me because something happened in my life that left me in regret. I've decided that this makes logical, practical sense because I want to look victorious in the world. So I'm going to make you an offer and try to emotionally manipulate you into making me an offer of love. So some of you could be going through that right now where you're in a relationship, but because the person you're with that you maybe didn't realize it is kind of immature, kind of defensive of speaking the truth and being just and fair and loving in a relationship, and if somebody offered them money and materialism to go get in a relationship and that person presented themselves as loving, it's like, well, I'll go get in a relationship with them. Maybe they will indulge me like a mother or a father, and I don't have to grow up and the thing is, they could view life in a very materialistic way, and because they wouldn't be tempted by somebody offering them money, because this person in the Knight of Pentacles, this person could look successful in the world, and so they made this person an offer trying to appeal to their kind of shadowy nature of pride and ego and money and materialism, and they made them an offer, presented themselves as loving, so that this person would come get in a relationship with them. And I think this would be saying that as time goes by, this person is going to feel overwhelmed in that relationship, because we have people that now we have maybe two people in a relationship that aren't making decisions from love. They're making decisions out of fear, insecurity, immaturity, codependency, greed. Now we have two people that aren't open and honest and loving in a relationship trying to get along. If any of those people went through that relationship, the whole thing is to learn lessons, right? If someone had been immature in a relationship and you didn't really know that, when this person, it's possible that when they go to repeat this lesson, they will become more mature, grow from a page of swords to a king of swords. They learn some lessons. And if they decide, well, if they just found it overwhelming to be in a relationship with that person, but this person is still in shadowy energy, they might have grown up some, but if they're still not aligned with love, because being in a relationship with someone who's just like themselves is overwhelming, it's like, I think I like to be in a relationship with people who are more loving and giving and blah, blah, blah. Those people could decide, I want my dream to come into reality with the loving Cancer people of the world, people who are loving and giving and balanced. I'm going to make them an offer because they're creative and bold and inspired in their Leo energy, and they are single and independent and abundant. And I'm going to maybe offer them a cup of love or an apology if I need to, and see if I can get them to move forward with me, because I feel stuck about the fact that I reunited with someone from my past. And now I feel I missed an emotional opportunity to be in a loving relationship. But if this person is still in shadowy energy themselves, they're still not seeing things clearly. There's still lessons they need to learn. They still might think that they still might be under the illusion that they can be mentally defensive to balancing out their emotions so that they could be part of a happy, loving family. You know, people who are in shadowy energy still have a lot of those lessons to learn from kindergarten about how to treat people in a relationship. And if you were already in a relationship with someone like this who views relationships as I'm the boss and I make the rules and this is the way things are supposed to be, because I have illusions about what a happy family is supposed to be like based on my family that I grew up in. And maybe someone in my family was kind of the stubborn, prideful, bossy, controlling person. And if there's going to be someone that, they just assume maybe that that's the way relationships are going to play out. Like someone's going to play that role. And by golly, if somebody's going to play that role, it's going to be them. And it's like, well, then go find someone else who views life that way. If any of these people try to communicate with you that, they want to, some of them might want to communicate with you loving people, that they want to defend now this relationship with you, and they might tell you that I was confused about thinking I would be happy with someone from my past, but that person was manipulative. So now I'm hoping if I communicate with you, maybe my former partner or marriage partner, that you'll want to have a new beginning with me. And you might say, well, I think you kind of showed me who you were and what you value and what you don't value and what's more important to you and not important to you. And we see life differently. You already, people are either willing, it's kind of like, writing a story of love, like a story of life in heaven, where people work together and people are willing to put aside their pride and ego and their selfishness and their immaturity and their self-centeredness to keep writing a story about heaven. But the people who, in their pride and ego or fear or insecurity or selfishness or greed, that's just not enough. Love and kindness and generosity, I want more. Some people, enough is never enough. And if you knew you gave your best the first time around and it wasn't enough for this person, why would it be enough the second time around? The only way it could work, I guess, would be if this person had an epiphany and they have made a judgment that they are no longer going to be in shadowy Taurus energy of viewing relationships as more transactional. Well, I give you this and you give me that. Which, when it was in a more transactional relationship, they could have this immature way of viewing relationships where they, maybe that's how they viewed relationships, and where they're in it for ego and image and status and money and materialism, and they're the boss for some reason. I'm not sure who made them God, but unless they've made a decision that I've seen the light and it's about love. Well, if they are willing to communicate that their philosophy of life by which they make decisions has incorporated truth, honor, character, justice, honesty, well, you might be willing to take some action to work together with this person to see how things go in the Seven of Cups, to see if this can lead to a happy family, and if you really can work together from a deep emotional foundation, or if this person is just trying to manipulate you again. And if you see that this person has learned to align with love, and I look at the Six of Cups as people who have balanced out emotionally between their more selfish, greedy, self-centered, beastly nature that we all got within us and their more loving nature, and they have like free flowing between it so that they're balanced with the foundation of love and emotion and intuition, well, then you might think you could manifest your dreams into reality with this person, and you might make them an offer to have a new emotional beginning and make this person your partner in the King of Pentacles, because this person has grown up and has made the decision to now be someone who truly is a leader in the world, because they don't make decisions based on fear, insecurity, pride, ego, selfishness, greed, and they have tempered their more beastly nature and have aligned with love and balance within themselves, and they are now willing to stand up and defend this relationship and no longer be someone who ignores love and people who offer them love and think it's just and fair for them to do so. So, you'll have to listen to your intuition. But if someone approaches you because they now have decided they want to exchange resources with you, and they communicate with you that they've picked you now, they want you to be the one to mother them in a relationship. It was better being in a relationship with you because you're loving and kind, and maybe the other people they went to get in a relationship were kind of just like them. And if you tell them the truth that, I have seen through your illusions. I don't have any illusions of being in a happy family with you. We might have created a happy family, we might have kids together, but, I don't have illusions about being able to be in a happy family with you, because you're still immature, stubborn, prideful, egotistical, and you haven't seen the truth yet. You're still living in illusion. You still have a lot of lessons to learn. I can work together with you as much as I need to work together with you, but for me and mine, we're manifesting our dreams into reality, and I'm taking creative, inspired action because I know my own worth and value, and I am going to have a new beginning with people who have learned lessons in life. People who harness high vibe Capricorn energy, the King of Pentacles, people who've put in the hard work and effort to free themselves from their manipulative ways, their fearful, insecure ways, their selfish, greedy, illusionary way of how they view life. If you're not someone who's learned to nurture and grow and mature yourself, how can you possibly nurture and mature and help grow other people or a relationship or a job project? You're stuck in emotional defensiveness, pride, ego, fear, insecurity. And until you learn the lessons you're meant to learn, you might have a lot more lessons to learn. And because of that, this person could be in regret and that it didn't work out, but because they don't want to give it everything they've got to speak their truth and stand up for themselves and the life they do deserve, and to believe in themselves, to do the work it takes to overcome their prideful, egotistical, selfish, greedy, whatever way they viewed life, they're going to go take action towards someone else who is. And then I guess the scales are balanced. It's just and fair that if people aren't willing to do the work and effort and they're going to be in shadowy Capricorn energy, and they think it's just and fair to be that way, it's just and fair for them to be in relationships with people who are just like themselves. It's not just and fair for them to be the way they are, tipped out of balance and expecting loving people to just keep indulging them, being selfish and greedy and immature, bossy, controlling, whatever. Let's go see, why is this person so overwhelmed about speaking their truth? Or they could be overwhelmed at the thought of being just and fair. Because if they're just and fair, and if they were to treat you the way they like to be treated, well, they could feel that puts them at a disadvantage. They're like giving of themselves. They're like investing in the relationship, and they could get hurt if they do that. Why is this person so overwhelmed about speaking their truth? Well, because maybe they'd have to apologize with the Page of Cups. Maybe they'd have to make their own like inner child nature of love and hope and faith and belief accessible, and they really protect that part of themselves. It's kind of like, no, my inner children do not come out to play. They could get hurt. I keep them locked away, which is sad because then they never get to bring their dreams into reality either. They're living an emotionally cold, detached, bossy, controlling life to protect their more vulnerable nature, but then they never get to grow or learn or mature or experience life. They are mentally defensive to either apologizing, offering love, being open, being honest, being vulnerable. Why else would these people be so overwhelmed about speaking their truth? Tower Hierophant. They would have to be willing to like offer love to their foundational way of making decisions in their life. It would have to come from love instead of pride, ego, defensiveness, and making it about like money, materialism, and stuff like that. They would have to let go of their view of life. Maybe they're just someone who doesn't, well, and let's see what's under that. Seven of Cups. They would have to let go of their illusions of how they view relationships. Maybe they're a very self-entitled person for some reason, and maybe they've thought that if they were ever in a relationship or a marriage that they're the boss, they're the decision maker, they're the rule maker. You know, it isn't about freely giving and equal give and take and joint kind of partnership. Again, they could have been somebody who it's very transactional. Maybe they are someone in the Hierophant energy, at least in their own mind, that they think they're someone of status or image or wealth or whatever, that people have a certain view of them in their own mind. They might think people look up to them and view them a certain way. And in order let to not be that way anymore, it would have to be willing to let go of this whole maybe persona of how they present themselves, which really is so much about what we think about ourselves in our own mind. I mean, we're not asking people to go out and do terrible things. We're asking people to be open and honest and loving, you know? And it may be just really wouldn't everybody be open and honest and loving if they could be? Wouldn't that be like a seed implanted within all of us? For this person to change the way they are and connect in more with their inner child nature, maybe would, especially sometimes I think of the King of Swords as a narcissist. They could have all these rules and regulations in their head about this is the way you're supposed to do things. Maybe it got drilled into them as a child or something. Who knows? Maybe they drilled it in their own head. But it would really maybe disrupt their whole foundation by which they have lived their life. And that would cause so much emotional confusion. So I think on one hand, we sometimes got to remember that about people. I think people, if they could be open and honest and loving, they would. But there's either truths about themselves or their families or how they grew up or whatever. There's just truths they don't want to look at. Even if it's just to say, I don't want to see the truth that the people who I grew up with that I love were kind of selfish or were kind of greedy or were kind of pompous or were kind of materialistic or were kind of controlling or were kind of emotionally manipulative. Some people, it was just like, they just, maybe they idolized people and they can't see people as the fallible human beings they were. Maybe it was always like, they're perfect. I don't know. Anyway, I think we'll leave it there. Also, I shuffled before I turned on the camera the Heart's Hidden Secrets Oracle by Mystic Blue Moon Tarot off their Etsy shop. We got chemistry, escaping, one day, and spine. The Page of Swords is a spine card. So some of you could even be exchanging resources in a relationship, like hugs and kisses, maybe having, equal give and take, or you're just emotionally balanced. There could be somebody watching you to see if you're ever going to call judgment on them and keep believing in yourself and aligning with love. Because as long as you are just back here putting in the work and effort to be that way and haven't really seen the truth of some people in your life, that they're immature, that they want a mother figure, that, I don't know, something like that, this person could still think they could have a chance to be in a relationship with you. So, because they could be attracted to you, but right now they could be avoiding you and one day hoping that maybe you would want to get in a relationship with them again and that you'll communicate with them because you still have illusions about having a happy family with them and that you'd want to reunite and repeat the patterns of the past where they could manipulate you. And as you keep moving forward in your life, not communicating with them, not being confused about the truth of who they are, is basically until this person were to come forward and tell you the complete and utter truth and the epiphany they've had in life, you're wishing them peace and you keep moving on. And because you maybe keep not communicating with them, this person's in regret. Because they might hide that they would like to be a King of Cups to your Queen of Cups, and they would like to take action towards you, But they know they're not willing to move forward because they find it overwhelming. It would require them to speak their truth. And they don't want to do that. Now let's ask, why are they so overwhelmed again? We did have the Page of Cups. For one, maybe they'd have to apologize. Maybe they'd have to be open and honest and authentic and speak the truth. Because they thought their dream would come into reality in the Three of Wands by juggling being selfish, greedy, manipulative in the Capricorn energy. Maybe juggle you and someone else. And if they did that as a manipulative ploy, they're just watching to see. You know, they could have left a relationship with you to go exchange resources with someone else. They could have thought their dream was going to come into reality with someone else in the world who's maybe like them, who's selfish, greedy, materialistic. And they kind of juggled you and someone else, maybe another Capricorn, but they're not someone who likes to invest. They juggle putting in work and effort. They think their dreams will come into reality without them having to put in work and effort. They're manipulative. And if they juggled you with someone else, they could be watching you to see if, it was like a manipulative tactic. They want to do relationships the way they want to do it. If they were in a relationship with you, they had the free will choice to be open and honest and loving. And they said, no, I'm going to take a risk to be selfish, greedy, manipulative, blah, blah. If none of that worked, I know I'm going to go get in a relationship with someone else. I'm going to go take sexual action. That'll really confuse them. And then maybe they'll be so confused because they'll be so heartbroken. Like, I thought we were going to have a happy family together. And that because you want to have a happy family with them, that you would reach out and communicate to them. But you're not. And it's like, shit. Now what? Well, I guess this person is going to have to face the consequences of the risks that they took. They can either start doing the work to get up into high vibe and be held accountable for their actions, speak the truth in love, and be set free and live the life they deserve to live. Grow up, mature, be open, be honest. Or, in their pride and ego, they can be in regret that they tried to manipulate you. They can continue to try to hide the fact that they might love you, but they were unwilling to be just and fair. They're immature in their Sagittarius energy. They're a player. They want to do things the way they want to do it. They want to be reckless and immature in a relationship, and they want people just to indulge them. Because the thought of going with the flow and taking creative, inspired action to speak their truth means they have to deal with letting go of their whole foundational way of how they've lived their life. And that right now is emotionally confusing for them, the thought of doing that. So they don't. It would maybe be too disruptive to their foundation. So you just keep going with your life and let this person watch you show people how it's done, how to get over the fact that people have hurt you and betrayed you before, and you didn't let it get you caught up in your pride and ego and your fears and insecurities to settle for less. You're going to get your dreams to come into reality. And if you keep doing it, this person might realize that if they want to be in a relationship with you or live a life like you live it, they're going to have to do the same thing and align with love. And as long as they keep aligning more with their mind instead of their heart, then I guess they're going to keep repeating the same old patterns of the past. Get in relationships, be stubborn, be prideful, be egotistical, be bossy, be controlling, wear a mask, create illusion, not be open, not authentic, basically kind of living hell on earth. So there you go, Capricorn energies of the world. I wish you peace, love, and joy, and we will see you next time. Bye-bye.